Update. Sorry for the hiatus. The computer I used to record blew up, but we should be getting a new one this week and return to normal by the next episode. This episode does cut out at one point, but you weren't missing much, and I'll point it out when it happens. On with the show.
But I have actually also played another game which is out called Four-Sided Fantasy. It's not on Nintendo platforms, but I encourage you to look this game up. It's on the PC and PS4 and coming to Xbox One soon. It's like a puzzle game, a mix of Braid and Portal, where the way that puzzles work is a screen, and like in the original Mario Bros., if you go off one side of the screen, you'll appear on the other side. And it creates puzzles based off this. So you've got to go and walk across the different sides of the screen to access areas that would otherwise be inaccessible by crossing over to the other side, if that makes sense. I beat the game. It's actually it was pretty fun, pretty good. It introduces new mechanics in each world, such as gravity mechanics, stuff like that. And so I encourage you to look up a video, and I think you'll like it. The puzzles are pretty good.
I like the art style. There's like a savannah kind of vibe going on.
Yeah, it's kind of supposed to be like it's supposed to be like an 80s. Well, once you play it, you'll see it more, but it's supposed to be like an 80s CRT kind of art style. And you'll kind of see they do some effects, which make it look a little bit like it's on a CRT.
Neat. All right, so Mike, what have you been playing?
All right. Well, I picked up Hyper Light Drifter, so I was kind of playing a bit of that on the PC. Not bad game, not bad. I also picked up Heart and Slash on the PC, but I kind of returned it because it wasn't what I expected it to be. Like, I don't mind like a hack and slash game, but I mean, I just realized I'm not a big fan of it. Like, I tried to play through all the Devil May Cries, and like I got bored with the first one like halfway through, and I got bored with the second one, even though I heard that's the worst one. I just don't think hack and slash for me. I mean, I think the last one I actually enjoyed. I can't even remember. It might have been like Gungrave for PS2 because I didn't even like No More Heroes that much. So, which is explains why I don't like Bayonetta. I mean, I like Ninja Gaiden.
I was gonna bring that up too.
Yeah, I enjoyed Ninja Gaiden, and then when I played Bayonetta, that ruined all hack and slashes for me forever because that game is trash. So I can never play it. It's the curse of Bayonetta, I'll call it. So. Well,
I heard the Ninja Gaiden games, or however you pronounce it, are pretty tough games. So I could see why you would enjoy that.
Yeah, I really liked it. Like I don't know, those games are like you always die, and it's just like you want to you just come back, like you come back at it. So, other than that, of course, I've been playing Overwatch. I got platinum ranked in season 2 that just launched, so it's pretty cool. It's not top 500, so I'm sad. And then I don't know, I kind of went back into Smash. So I went to a few locals this week. Won like 3 out of 4 of them, so I made like $400, $300 on the side this week. So.
Crushed a lot of dreams.
Yeah. All these little kids are like, "Hey, my mom said I'm the best." I was like, "Oh, you poor little kid." But yeah, no, I was doing that. Phil's giving me a thumbs up, the opposite of the thumb. He's shaking his head at me, and then I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna play Final Fantasy 4, Final Fantasy 7." And I can't replay games right now. Like, I just can't do it. Like, I don't know what happened, but right now, like, I kind of been, like, slacking. Like, I turned on Xenoblade Chronicles X, played about 2 hours of it, which is fine. But I just can't go back. Like, I'm like, the only game I have on my 3DS right now is Ocarina of Time 3, because I'm waiting for Phoenix Wright 6. And I want the physical copy of Gunvolt 2. So I'm just waiting. I was trying to replay it. I just can't do it. I just can't replay games right now.
All right. Cool. So we'll get on to a couple of quick things before we get to talking about the Direct. Nintendo's decided to extend the My Nintendo Gold points. My Nintendo is like their Club Nintendo knockoff thing. Before it was only good for 6 months. Now the Gold points are good for 12 months. But the Platinum points are still only good for 6 months because they can't possibly make things easy for you. Dragon Quest XI is confirmed for NX. It was confirmed in an interview with Sakurai and whoever the heck is the lead guy on it. Before the games, were you guys interested in any of the amiibo they showed off?
Well, I'm always interested in them, and you know,
I like the 8-bit one.
Did I tell you, I actually just ended up picking up the rest of the Kirby ones from the Kirby set because they were $5 a piece on
Oh my
Amazon.
gosh!
Man,
You
said you weren't gonna do it.
I said I wasn't, and I didn't buy them at launch. I paid $5 for them, not 13. So, I'm okay with $5 amiibos. I don't think I'm ever going to buy $13 ones anymore.
Oh man, if only they drop price over here. Nothing drops price.
Yeah.
Check your Amazon.
I actually have. Actually, I don't even know if I have any amiibo in my Amazon cart or wish list or whatever. Maybe I should put some in there.
I just got the.
We don't even have the pre-orders for the new ones up.
Hey,
Sorry,
what
was
do
that?
they do? What do the new ones do? Because I just got the Meta Knight one from one of the Smash turns. It was like a bonus. Like, pick whatever one you want. I was gonna pick like Japanese Rob, but I was like, I'll pick one of the new I'll pick the new Meta Knight. But what do? They don't do anything, right?
No, they don't.
Yeah.
It's just for the Kirby Robobot game, and that's just like unlock an ability that you can get in the game. It's really.
We can use them in Smash too.
Gosh darn.
Probably.
Yeah.
I should have got Japanese Robot.
I mean, he does probably less than Meta Knight, but he's cooler.
Yeah, I mean, but Meta Knight was kind of cool looking.
He is, but I mean, like, Rob is, like, how many times are you going to get a Rob toy, right?
I have them, like, all open, and the only one I've ever used is, like, the Zelda one for Twilight Princess. So I was like, man, I need a heal right now, and I just grabbed it and used it. But I like the Ocarina of Time one coming out, and the 8-bit Zelda. I like all the 8-bit ones. I think those look really cool. I just think they're,
They're putting out, I don't remember, how many new ones did they announce? Maybe, like...
They announced the Yarn Poochie one, and then, like, 5 Zelda ones.
Oh my god. I think they announced some else, too. Let me...
Possibly. I don't remember.
No, you're right. And there's also the Super Mario set still coming. So you've got...
Oh, yeah.
Guardian, Archer, Rider, and 8-bit Ocarina of Time, Link, and Wind Waker Link and Wind Waker Zelda. So that's a whole set right there. Oh my god.
Here, the part that cut out, we were briefly talking about the new Zelda amiibo and what we think, and we all think it's pretty cool. Not much else to say about that. To give context to this next part, I was wondering why we haven't heard anything about the Corrin, Cloud, and Bayonetta amiibo for Smash when we've seen so many other amiibo the last few months, including just recently.
I heard from somewhere that they take like a year to process, so technically if they said they were in development, it was around December 2015 they announced it, like it would still be within like the year it takes to process, but it's still weird how they haven't given an update, but still announced.
She's beautiful, frankly.
It's, I don't know, something's weird about that.
I mean, for heaven's sake, on X is coming soon.
I'm thinking maybe they'll... I doubt they would do anything with NX with these, because it doesn't really make any sense. But
I don't know, they're continuing to put them out. I wouldn't be surprised if, like... What if they launched those amiibo, like, day and date with the NX version of Smash Bros,
Possibly.
I could see them doing that.
Yeah. It could just be a poor line or time-up thing. But anyway, let's get on to the Direct. So, I don't know about you guys. I didn't really expect much out of it, because who expects anything out of Nintendo right now? Pretty much nothing. But
I sure don't.
I didn't think it was that bad, but maybe that's because I didn't have any expectations. But it looks like Emily Rogers was kind of right about Nintendo supporting the 3DS through 2018, because one of the early things they said in this was like, hey, here's some 2017 games coming. It's like, oh, we're actually talking about another year of something. We didn't think you would do that. So some things before some of the new games. Skyward Sword is on Wii U for $20. Picross...
Good game.
It's decent. Updates, which is weird because I don't know how many people still use it. It's Picross 3D Round 2 is available. Street Pass is getting like a bunch of... It honestly seems, as a lot of people have said, too little, too late.
Everyone in Japan and nobody in America.
Pretty much.
Use Street Pass.
Just a bunch of...
Oh yeah, I mean, even I'm a proponent of Street Pass, and it's like... Yeah.
No, well, the best thing about the update is that you can now get up to 100 people street passing before you cap out. That's the best part.
If only that many people were around you.
Well, when you go to
But
convention
actually-
and stuff, you'll get like 100
Yeah.
people.
Yeah,
if you go there.
dude. Trust me. When I was at
Oh my
like to
goodness.
get the 100 in one day, I was like, open, close, open, close, open, close, like every
Yeah.
like 10 seconds.
The only thing about that is that you have to pay for Me Pass Premium or Me Plaza Premium, which is $5, which is dumb. They're
I
like
already
gating
booked that,
things
so
off.
I'm
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Yeah, are the other things
Yeah.
free? Because I have that or no?
You get one game for free, and then you have to pay for the others.
Yeah.
Boo.
But they did announce some new stuff, so it's kind of weird. Tank Troopers, which is some tank game. I think it's just a downloadable title. Super Mario Maker 3DS, which is coming this year. It has local sharing via Street Pass, but it has no online and no amiibo costumes, but you can still play the Wii U courses.
Well, I
if you
played
look
the
for them or
original
whatever.
I played the original for literally 15 minutes, so probably won't be picking up the 3DS version.
What? Yeah, it's gonna be so
It's-
good. I think it might be even better on the 3DS. I mean,
Oh my gosh.
Okay, we all know this Nintendo Direct was meant to just kill the Wii. They're like, hey, what Wii U games did you like? I was like, I like Super
Yeah.
Mario Maker and Yoshi's Woolly World. They're like, okay, we'll put that in the 3DS. I was like, and maybe Xenoblade Chronicles X, and
Oh,
maybe
you
they'll
thought-
throw Bayonetta
you thought-
2 now.
Oh, you thought you like Pikmin 3? All right, we've got a Pikmin game for you.
Yeah. It was like, what other Wii U games do you like, Matt? Maybe this one? Okay, Nintendo Land on the 3DS. I'm like, that doesn't even work. And they're like, don't worry about it, alright? Just Wii U doesn't exist.
It's so weird because it also seems like they don't have much left to put out on the 3DS if they're taking Wii U games and putting them on. But maybe it's also because they're like, hey, these games are good games. They just did not sell as well as they could have, so now we got to port them over because people are still playing their 3DS.
Yeah.
But still, it's like
does it cost
Super
a lot
Mario
for a
Maker
company?
GIMP version.
Like,
Hmm?
does it cost for a lot for a company to do that? To like, they're not remaking them, right? They're kind of they're essentially like deporting them. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know, because it's one thing to take a game and port it to something that
Like
is on
PS3 to
equal or
PS4.
better hardware.
Yeah, like that
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah, but when you take something and like downgrade it, I'm sure there's something else you have to do with it besides like some automatic thing where you lower the poly resolution, or I forget the proper terminology, but there's ways of like downgrading something, but I'm not sure how far or how much work that involves. I don't know, it's weird. At least Yoshi's Woolly World like kind of makes sense. Super Mario Maker is like, here's a gimped version of something,
Yeah.
because you
I mean,
can't really
I was
play
thinking,
online,
like,
so
that's
it's
not-
like,
Like, they can't have. Obviously, it's not Super Mario Brothers U version. Maybe it's new Super
Yeah.
Mario Brothers engine kind of thing, or maybe more. I thought they were gonna add something instead of just making it a complete lazy port, which it seems that they are. I thought they were gonna be like, hey, you can make games in the style of the DS ones, which have like a little bit more unique features. But since you can't upload levels from the 3DS, there's no point of that.
yeah, but Mike, that means it making a whole new thing, and they don't really want to do that at this point.
Yeah. I kind of came to realize that too. I'm like, wait, they're not making, hey, this is gonna be a DS only. You know what I mean? Like 2D
Yeah.
Mario portables only. Like, I was like, oh,
That would be cool if they made like a Super Mario Maker that's specifically like the handheld versions. But
yeah. Like used all like the kind of like they used all the new Super Mario Bros. Like U was nice, but it didn't really add too much. You know what I mean? I think they only added like one new power. Was that even the propeller head, or that was the regular new Super Mario Brothers Wii? That was it. They added,
might have-
they added the right. Not
yeah,
the
it was the
raccoon suit.
propeller,
It was like that weird
The-
glide thing, right?
the squirrel one. I don't think.
The acorns.
Yeah,
Phil told me. Phil.
Yeah.
That was the only thing. In
But
that.
I don't think the acorns are in the Mario Maker. Yeah, it's weird. But they also made another Mario Sports game. It's coming out spring next year. This one has 5 games in it. It has 11 on 11 soccer. I'm guessing that's more than what they usually do. Baseball, tennis, golf, and horse racing. Because I guess people like it in the Sonic and Olympic games. I don't know. Camelot is making the tennis and golf games, which is weird that it's noted because the last couple of games involving tennis and golf that they've made haven't been really doing all that well. So I don't know if that really means anything, but Bandai Namco is working on the other stuff, so that's interesting that they have one team working on certain games and another working on others. But yeah, the bigger thing is the Pikmin 3DS game. So this is interesting. Mixed feelings from what I've seen on the internet. I don't know if this is the Pikmin 4 game that Miyamoto was talking about or not.
It probably is.
It's possible. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think he ever called it Pikmin 4. I think he said that there was another Pikmin game.
Okay. I have a
I was gonna.
question,
Here, let me try to break it down first.
Okay.
So yeah, someone had an interview with Miyamoto saying there was a Pikmin game, a fourth Pikmin game, which would just mean another Pikmin game that's coming chronologically next. So it's quite possible that this is the game he was talking about, and it's quite possible it's not. Some people have said that this game is being made by... he could have meant Pikmin 4, as in that's the name of the title, or just the people who made Yoshi's New Island, but I haven't seen any definitive proof of that, so I don't know why that's been circling around. But as far as, if it is or if it isn't, it's up in the air, but I would say safe bet, assume that it is, just so you don't, hype yourself up for something that's not coming. But sorry, Mike, go on.
Okay, now I know nothing about Pikmin, but this Pikmin game I actually want because it looks like it has nothing to do with the original 3, that kind of style. So I was gonna ask, what kind of is it gonna be a platform only, or you guys don't really know? And is this for new 3DS? Now, are the games announced new 3DS exclusives?
No, it's just any 3DS. Because they didn't specifically say
one or two. Wasn't the tank game new 3DS exclusive? I think it might have been.
I don't recall seeing that.
Okay, so
Maybe
Yoshi, Mario, and Pikmin 4DS. That is that is all for regular 3DS, though, correct?
Correct.
I kept
I did not see
it,
anything.
I went to every news site, and nobody kind of specified, and it didn't have that. When they advertised for the new 3DS, they kind of put that little new at the top with the multicolor. They mentioned that it's new. It has a different logo. I didn't see that at the end of each trailer, so I was like, did they forget, or am I like paranoid about this?
No, I don't recall seeing that either, and they've pretty much dropped that for the longest time. The last thing they did was SNES games on new 3DS, but that's about it. But yeah, Eli, since you probably don't have a lot of time, what do you want to say about this Pikmin game?
I don't know. I'm very optimistic. The concept. See, the difference is when people saw the 3DS version of Metroid, which some people are comparing this thing to, that was a totally different game. That wasn't what Metroid was. That's I thought that freak out was justified, and it didn't end up being that great of a game anyway. When you look at this Pikmin game, the concepts in 3D Pikmin can very easily carry over to 2D. It's not some sort of terrible jump. The whole strategic element of carrying fruits back, of fighting enemies, of time management, this and that and the other, that can all still exist on a 2D plane. Now, the levels might be a little bit more linear. It might be one of those things where you have to do it all in one level, as opposed to making multiple trips.
Yeah, I heard that it has goals, so it's probably like some of the other games where it's level by level, possibly.
Yeah, so there you go. I mean, I don't think that a 2D disqualifies any sort of regular Pikmin gameplay, so I'm looking forward to the game. I think it can be good.
Yeah, honestly, it's a side game, sort of a spin-off, I guess you could say, but it's what I would have expected out of a handheld version. I wouldn't expect the exact same Pikmin game on a handheld, because...
Careful there, because soon all of Nintendo's platform will be a handheld system.
Oh gosh. Yeah, I'm dreading what possible changes they'll do there.
The whole, it's okay because it's a handheld argument doesn't work anymore.
I was thinking about that too. I was like, is Nintendo want to make a better Vita? That's what I keep thinking about now. That's what I feel like there's their fake goal. They're like, oh, look how nice the Vita looked, but it failed. We have a handheld audience, so let's try to capitalize on that while kind of saying it's the new home console. I was thinking about this the last week, and I'm like, they're just gonna make an HD handheld and call it their also home console as laziness.
Yeah. Well, it would make more sense to get their handheld audience to go to the home, carrying over them to the home console, because there's more of them on handhelds than their home consoles. But as far as Pikmin goes, yeah, I mean, I don't think it looks that bad. I think the reason why I think it looks pretty interesting is because it looks like Kirby Mass Attack, and that game was pretty good, and that was basically like a handheld Pikmin game, or what I would expect out of one. So this is basically that again. So I'm like, okay, that's cool. Like, I wouldn't expect a 3D Pikmin game on a handheld because I don't think they could do it well. You would have to reduce the amount of Pikmin you have to who knows what number, and that would probably make it a lot more crappy if you only had like 10 or 20 Pikmin because that's all they could do. And then they would just be too small on the screen, which the 3DS screen is already small enough. Like, it's just not really made for that kind of thing. So this makes a lot more sense, I think, and I think it still looks interesting. One thing that they've added is they're actually adding water segments, which you don't really do in normal Pikmin games. You can actually go in like the ocean here and see other monsters and attack them. So that's one thing they're at least adding to this game that we haven't really dealt with before. So it's kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's the only Pikmin game I've ever been interested in. So, I mean, I had Pikmin 2. I didn't really like it, but that's not my style. Like,
how dare you?
Yeah, I know.
How dare you?
But I mean, now I'm kind of more like, all right, I'm actually like really interested in this. Like, it looks not only unique, like it looks like kind of like a new take on platform. I want to know, like, can Olimar do anything without the Pikmin, and in what way is this like influenced from Pikmin, and what way is it a new style of game?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. And the other game coming 2017 is Ever Oasis, which is an RPG that I'll talk to you
Like no.
I don't know.
Oh, that level 5 game I reviewed. What's it called?
Oh yeah, Fantasy Life.
Fantasy Life. That's what it looks like.
Oh, the new Final Fantasy one, right? No, wait, I'm lying.
No, it's not.
A different game. Yeah, I'm thinking World of Final Fantasy.
No.
I was just reading that article.
No.
That was the. I remember Fantasy Life because when I met Reggie Fils-Aimé, he had a second DS just talking about that.
Man, Matt doesn't have his reviews ready.
No, I just wrote a lot of notes on something. I wasn't sure if Nintendo would have an NX.
But no, we didn't talk about how good Mario Sports Team is, and we didn't talk about the new Mario Party Star Rush, obviously. Alright, so I mean, first off,
none of those games matter.
Whoa, Mario Sports games are that game matters so much. The Mario Sports game.
Oh,
right?
Pardon me, Mike can't play Shovel Knight, but God forbid we forget to talk about Mario Sports.
I already did this Shovel Knight.
Play Guacamelee then.
Oh yeah, I need to play freaking salsa and guacamole on the side. Oh, I heard several.
I only gave you the code like a year and a half ago.
Yeah, it's funny. I do have it downloaded. But yo, I forgot about that. But I mean, come on, Mario. Like, you know how long I've been waiting for a new Mario soccer game, and we're not getting Mario football, but we're still getting Mario. You know, like volleyball and all the other stuff. Like,
you know how little I care.
You can get rugby in one of the Olympic games.
Yeah, exactly.
That's like football, so
yeah. Well, it's
not
that. You not American, all right? So, but no.
We have football here. I just don't care.
I mean, Star Rush looks mediocre, all right. And then, aren't we getting some other games for the 3DS? That's not Phoenix Wright 6 because that game looks amazing, but yeah,
yeah, just some Dragon Quest games and whatnot.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Okay, now which Dragon Quest is this coming out? Is this the one where it has the
3D
models and on the bottom screen is the 2D? Because that game looks.
No, that's Dragon Quest 11.
Damn it! What do we get? We're getting 7 and 8.
Correct. 7 is coming in September, I think, and then 8 is coming next year.
Okay.
And then
they're supposed to be like amazing games anyway.
10 and 11 are both coming to NX.
Okay.
Yeah. Except, well, who knows if it's coming to the West or not? That's another thing.
Well, yeah, 10 might not come to the West, but I could imagine 11 was like probably a sure thing for the West.
10 was that Wii online support one, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was the MMO.
Yeah.
11, I know 11's definitely coming out. That one actually is that was the most interesting concept I've seen on a 3DS. Like, I like the fact that they're like keeping it 2D old school in the bottom and 3D in the top. Like, it
Yeah,
seems like
yeah.
such a common idea, but it's like then you realize like not a lot of big companies have done this. It's more of like, hey, like some indie guy did this or this, that, and this, and the fact that they're tackling it seems kind of cool, and the 3DS is the right system for it.
Definitely.
Yeah, totally. I wasn't sure if the NX was, or if Nintendo was going to have another Direct this month since they just had one, but I don't know. I think it's somewhat likely because they had one like right at the beginning, and I kind of looked into it. I did some like math and whatnot to see how likely it was. And for brevity's sake, there's basically a 50-50 chance. I thought that Nintendo usually had them at the end of the month, but it's pretty much even any time during the month, at least as far as North America is concerned. So I would think if they have one, some people are saying on the 13th or 14th or somewhere around TGS. It sounds a little weird. I would think they would do it after since they're not actually going to TGS, but maybe they're doing it before TGS so people can talk about it when they're there. But then again, that doesn't make sense either because at E3, Ubisoft said games coming to NX, so it's not like they're adverse from people announcing games for it. I don't really know. It seems like a big mess.
I still
We'll see
hold
by
that
the end of the month.
I still hold that I think the best decision would be a separate media event rather than a Nintendo Direct, but...
Yeah. Well, I mean,
No.
they could have, like,
Who wants to listen to
a
reason?
Direct. They could have a Direct and then have, like, an event, like, a day later, right? Just to, like, get people to know about it, like, aware of it, and then be like, hey, look, we played this, this, and this. And they're like, oh, cool.
Yeah, it's also possible they could have a secret event and have people under embargo and then have previews go up literally, like, right after the Nintendo Direct.
Yeah.
I could see that happening, too.
So do you have anything else to report on that, Eli?
If that's what was actually happening, I wouldn't have floated that idea because that would have been on such heavy NDA.
I know. Be like 10 minutes just bleeped out of the podcast, or I just upload it like 3 weeks later after it's announced. I guess one or two more interesting things, and that's about it. So the Pokemon Detective Pikachu movie apparently has some high-class people working on it. The Guardians of the Galaxy writer and the Gravity Falls creator are working on it.
Oh my god.
So that seems pretty interesting. Guardians of the Galaxy is obviously very, very humor-based, and Gravity Falls I haven't really watched, but I know a lot of people like it.
Following, yeah.
Yeah. Definitely some weird cerebral stuff going on there. It probably has some humor in it too, so it sounds like they have interesting people on it and they're not really half-assing it, so that's cool. And I guess one last thing is one funny thing was Reggie said Nintendo's learned from the mistakes when it comes to marketing and a steady flow games, and I'm just like, sure, let's see how true that is and see if we hear a please understand like 3 months in.
Yeah.
I heard.
Hey.
I know what that Metroid inspired game's finally coming to the Wii U eShop.
Oh yeah, Axiom Verge.
That's it. Yeah, I always mix that up. I mix it up with the other one that kind of came out for PS Plus, and I thought that was Axiom Verge, but it wasn't. I just can't think. Oh, no, I can't remember the name of it. Like, if I look at my my PS Plus collection or my trophies collection, I'll know what it is. But I always thought that was Axiom Verge, but it wasn't, and I found out Axiom Verge is like something else, and I'm like, oh, okay. Now I'm like kind of interested in it. Random dumb facts is I think another Metroid 2 remake officially got taken down, or they got No Mario Sky got renamed. To
DMC Sky.
Yeah,
DMCA
So
Sky.
It's I mean, AM2R was really good. Honestly, I would have never played the Game Boy game or that game without that remake. Like, it felt more like Zero Mission, but I appreciate what the guys did. You know what I mean? Like, it was like they kind of used that Zero Mission fusion kind of engine, but like I don't know. I think that game was just not that good, even though they remade it. Like, I had fun, like, as a Metro game, and I was kind of craving one, and it really filled in the taste. But overall, like, Metroid 2 is kind of weak. But it's still, I would recommend it for anyone who's a Metroid fan or is like, hey, I don't want to pay money and doesn't want to get fusions on their Wii U or new 3DS. So I don't wait. Does Fusions work on new 3DS, or you still have to have a Wii U?
I think it was one of the ambassador games.
Yeah, you have to have one of the collector original 3DSs. Like, hey, I had this, but nobody wanted it. But yeah, no. Like I said, if you're a big Metroid fan, definitely get into it. If you're like Eli and you're like, I don't really like Metroid, and it's free, don't get into it, because even though it's free, you're not going to play it.
Yeah. So a couple of weeks ago, there was a Pokemon Direct, and there's actually going to be a Pokemon announcement tomorrow. But one of the things that was shown off, and this will be the last thing for the podcast, is there were quests shown off, or at least one quest. One of them was just picking up sea cucumber Pokemon off the beach and then just basically collecting money for it. Would you want some other kind of quest or something else to spend your money on in this game? Because from this quest, the guy got like $20,000, and for Pokemon, that's still quite a bit of money.
That's a lot.
And,
for what?
Yeah, just for like picking up Pokemon off of a beach, which just means you run up to it and press A, and then you just go back to him.
Why can't they just give me like Pokemon? Like, tell you what, give me the first game and make it different a little bit, and then give that to me. That's all I want. That's all I want. I don't need any. I don't need mentally challenged Executor. I don't need. I don't need any of this.
Well,
stuff.
maybe he was just hanging out in like South Africa and put those rings on his neck, and then just took it too far.
No, I will say I do appreciate some of the lore, the lore behind the Alola form Rattata. That was creative. I appreciated that. No, and I do appreciate the alternate forms. Those are kind of cool. I don't know why they have to change it up though. Like, just give me gym battles. I don't need this, island challenge. I don't need any of this fluff. Just give me Pokemon. And I know some reviewers want new, but if you have a new region or new Pokemon, that's enough new for me.
Yeah. It all depends on whether the new things actually pay off.
Yeah.
That's what
for me,
matters.
I mean, as like an OG Pokemon guy, it's more of like I like to experiment now with Pokemon. But when I get in, it's like I know what I'm gonna do, and I think the series has hit a point where everyone has favorites and they don't want to discover new things, or even if they do, they want someone else to discover something new that's good, so they all can get on it. But I'm not too sure. I mean, I think with Sun and Moon, the series might hit like its fake pinnacle. You know what I mean? Like I can only see it going down from here unless they do something like some 3D amazing Pokemon thing. Because like Pokemon Go is already dying. I mean, I live in New York and Pokemon Go shouldn't even be dying here because it's just so, you know what I mean? Like so many spots, so many this, but. Dude, it sucks turning that thing on. I haven't even turned it on in like 2 weeks. You know what I'm gonna see? I'm gonna see a Pidgey, and I'm gonna see like one Caterpie, and I'm gonna see a Rattata. And I'm like, whoop the effing do? They ruined this game like that. Like they had such a good thing going, and especially with like the maps and outside people helping out. It's like, oh, we're adding a buddy system. I think it's too late for that. But if Nintendo can do something that brings up like that kind of craze and kind of does something new 3D with Game Freak, like they kind of changed Pokemon, I feel like it could get a little bit bigger. But right now I can only kind of see it going down. I feel like merchandising and like the TV show are actually bigger right now than the actual game series for players.
Interesting.
Because I feel like more little kids are watching, they're buying the card games, like they don't really know the game like that well, and it's just it doesn't have that like a lasting appeal anymore. Like I like old Pokemon a little bit more. Like maybe that's just me, but I just don't feel like you don't see as many people playing Pokemon all the time like they were. And I think Pokemon Go is a good audience, like a good way to judge it, even though that's more of a mainstream audience.
I don't think so, because I think Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire sold better than like X and Y, and X and Y did set new records or something. So
like the older games like still have a little bit more appeal. I thought it was because of me, but I just don't. Nintendo didn't really do anything new with that. That was just kind of like their X and Y improvement,
Yeah.
So for me, like I don't get how this guy made $20,000. I still don't get it, but like. it's just I don't see any, like, this is probably the newest I'm gonna see Pokemon, and if they could, like, if something could change about it, like, I don't know, I feel like everything hyped about this game is kind of more of like it's hilarious new kind of moves, or like Snorlax, rather than like all this stuff where it's like, hey, we're adding this, we're adding that. Like X and Y was kind of cool with that. I mean, all it had, the gimmick of it was it's its first 3D modeled game, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But
well, they did add like more dynamic animation to look somewhat more like the show and just more involved. But yeah, there's going to be diminishing returns the further you go, so they're going to have to try to make it new in different ways.
Yeah, I mean, I just want it because, like, I kind of just want Sun and Moon right now because I'm like, you know what? It looks like they're putting an effort, they're putting different. But that's just like, there's something holding me back where it's like, I'm not that excited. Like, I was kind of let down from X and Y, you know? And so it's like, I didn't get Omega Ruby and Sapphire, and I'm like, because I kind of felt like it was the same game, but I also was never a big fan of those two. But Sun and Moon, like, I don't really know what to expect. They kind of, like, it seems cool. Like, I mean, Pokemon's kind of hot right now, but I just feel like the entire franchise is like, it kind of needs like a break, because I feel like we've been getting yearly releases since 2012. So I mean,
yeah, for the most part we have.
Yeah.
Except for I think last year.
Was last year? Oh yeah, you're right. Was last year Omega Ruby, or that was 2 years ago?
No, that was like 2 years ago.
Okay, yeah. See,
because everyone was expecting Zed last year, and then they're like, nope.
Yep.
New gen.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. See, that's what I'm saying. It's just like, I'm kind of hoping for like Pokemon to take a new step, like a new direction. Like I don't want like no Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. I kind of just want like I want to see like a 3D game, and I mean, since VR is so hot right now, like it's bigger than AR. Like maybe they get, and you know, Nintendo they got a Virtual Boy, so they're already ahead of the game. All right. So
yeah. I'll just say my one piece. I would like to have some sort of side quest. The one quest they had there was incredibly mundane. It's not even a quest, I would call it, because it's just monotonous button pressing. But I would like more story side DLC things like they had with Mewtwo before. Like, oh, you gotta go and find this cave, and then hey, there's Mewtwo, a Pokemon you can catch.
Yeah. Or when you find the legendary birds, you kind of have to ask people around. Like, oh yeah, I hear it hangs around. You know, near the engineering factory. You're like, oh, it does? Like, and then you would go there, and you find it. Or like, even hunting the wild dogs in Gold and Silver is kind of fun.
Yeah, or I think there was some stuff in in X and Y, there were like the portals you could go around and get. Just something like that, something on the side that has some story.
I did enjoy that. That was actually my favorite part, like finding the guys to teach me new rollerblade stuff. You know? Oh
no, I just meant the other Pokemon in the portals are I think not Rayquaza, Deoxys or I forget it was Rayquaza, I think, that had the story campaign after you beat the game. I forget what the episode is called. Episode Z or something.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Eli's got to go, so we'll wrap it up here. I'm Matt. You can also I can't even close up anymore. I'm Matt, also known as the Manga Viking, and you can find me on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Eli, where can people find you?
You can find me at NintendoEnthusiast.com, as well as Enthusiast.gg, and on Twitter at Paul Salon.
Cool. And Mike, where can people find you?
Hey guys, just find me on Gaming Night Live on YouTube, or Troy Filibuster on Twitter and Twitch.
Cool. So wherever you're listening, you can find us at Just Another Castle on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, iTunes, Podomatic, Destructoid, and IGN. You can leave us your questions or comments, and we'll see you next time and leave gaming to Nintendo.